Hey everyone, Nate here from Cinema Buffs. I'm bringing you my second review in this series of movies to watch around Halloween, and I'm bringing you the review for Re-Animator, the 1985 classic, which is based on the H.P. Lovecraft short story called Herbert West Re-Animator, which I personally have not read. But I do know that this movie steers pretty far away from its source material. Luckily, I watched this with somebody that has never seen it before. Throughout this entire series, I'm gonna watch these movies with people that have never seen them before. It's such a cool way to watch movies because you just get the genuine reaction of what they think about this, and especially with horror and gory movies, it's just, you sort of get a feel of exactly what it is through another person's eyes. Essentially, this movie is about a young upcoming college student who's a good man, and he's dating the dean's daughter, and he runs into Herbert West, who is this young college student who's brilliant but also a mad scientist and has invented a serum that can reanimate corpses and bring them back to life. Really, this movie gets right into it. The opening sequence is fantastic. It lets you know exactly what you're getting into. The music to this movie is so awesome. It fits it so well. It's reminiscent of Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho music a little bit, but I would say a little bit more playful in tone. The acting is serviceable. It's really good at some points and really not so good at other points. You have to accept this movie as campy. That's what this movie is going for. It knows that it's campy. It's not trying to take itself too seriously. It does have weird, hilarious jokes, not only in the dialogue, but the tricks and special effects and things like that. But it gets right into it, and the main character, the hero of the story, I would say, and Herbert West, who is this villain anti-hero who you kind of start rooting for a little bit, but you just want to see what he's gonna start coming up with. They start working together, reluctantly start working together, and start reanimating these corpses. The special effects are awesome. I think these are such cool, campy, fun Halloween special effects to watch. I mean, they are kind of like, there's gory times where you're like, ugh, that's kind of weird, but that's what this movie is. Weird. It is just really, really bizarre, but also a lot of the decisions, as bizarre as it gets, the decisions from the characters are reasonably justified. They do follow along in this plot where they're just like, we are snowballing this so badly, we need to keep up with it, and we need to start making decisions, and we have to act now. You might have heard of it just through word of mouth or cult followings or things like this, but the biggest part about this is a character who gets his head chopped off, and he reanimates the body, and he reanimates the head separately. So the head is being carried by the headless body throughout the film. It is such a cool effect that they do with this. The way he sets the head down, and then it'll sit there and it'll talk, and then he'll pick it up and he'll carry it, and in the chest it's talking right there. They found such good ways to get around the budget and get around the special effects that these are all practical. We live in a world where there's so much CGI and it's so easy to do, and you can even like CGI someone's actual face into floating and talking. But they had to do this the most practical ways, and they pull it off because it's just neat. It's just really neat to see how they do this. I think the main character is well developed into, he's a noble guy. It really it does that whole example of how noble he is at the beginning that matches up with how noble he is at the end. The ending is spectacular. It's a special effects extravaganza from the 80s, and it doesn't make the most sense. I mean, that's one tiff, or a few tiffs from this movie that I have, is that it doesn't make that much sense at the end. But that's not the point of this movie. The point is fun, and the point is watching the events unfold, and it all takes place within a day or two. So it really escalates pretty quickly, and it's just, you're gonna have a big grin on your face while you're watching this the whole time. The ending leaves it 100% wide open. If you're looking for a movie that closes this out, just oh wow, what a nice little package that wrapped up in, not even close. So how scary is this movie? Not very scary. It's more fun. It's gory and it's graphic and it's weird, but scary, no. There's some jump scares here and there. I think the director does a very good job of, some suspenseful scenes where there's a little jump out and boo and things like that, but I don't think the images are anything that'll stick with you for a long time or really scare you all that much. I think that the director, the crew, the entire production of this movie knew what it wanted to be, and they succeeded. So scary-wise, I would give it, on the scary scale, 2 out of 5. So not very scary. You can enjoy this. It is R-rated, don't get me wrong. This has some creatively gory moments to it where you're like, that is so gross and funny. And it's also a lot of nudity. They work in a hospital, they work in a morgue. A lot of the corpses they're reanimating are naked. I wouldn't show it to kids or anything like that, but it still is, once again, tongue-in-cheek, funny, campy, weird, but not very scary. I encourage you to go watch this movie. It's on Netflix, easily accessible. Watch it with your friends. You'll have a really good time. Really sets you in the mood for Halloween. Thanks again for joining me on this whole Halloween review series. I've been having a blast watching these movies and really examining them and picking them apart. I hope you have as well. I'll see you next week on Tuesday. Don't forget to subscribe to Cinema Buffs. We appreciate all the support. Like, share, all that good stuff. Thank you so much. And I'll see you next week.